Hey guys, going old school again on the GoPro 10. I'm gonna compare this with the Ultra S24. You know, all these great cameras that we have coming out now, any of them will do good, but if you're vlogging, if you got the Pocket 3, if you got the GoPro 10, or 11, 12, whatever, Osmo 4, whatever those newer action cameras, they're both good. Or even if you have to use your phone for vlogging purposes, it's almost all you need. Or ZV1 Mark II, but that's too pricey. That's really all you need for vlogging purposes. But inside the studio, that's where the cameras come in, right? That's where the, bare bones. If you want to go ZV-E10, and I'm going to show that at the end of this, compared to these other ones, so you can see it. That's the difference. The studio, outside, you got decent lighting. That's where these are good. So I'm going to compare this GoPro 10, 5.3K. 30 frames per second against the 8K 30 frames per second on the Ultra S24. And we're going to look at them, we're going to compare them, and you can see, is there really a difference? There's a benefit, of course, the GoPros, and the benefits to the phones and cons. So we're going to go through that real quick, just to show that you don't have to spend expensive equipment. Like, honestly, coming out here, just doing this is so much easier. So much easier after using the cameras for a while. Coming out doing this is like, wow, I don't have to set up a tripod. I don't have to do anything like that. So, but all right, let's check out the Ultra S24 now, and we'll see what that looks like. All right, guys, S24 Ultra. Now, I'm right now using the front-facing camera. This is, so I can see the screen. So it's not going to be the best quality. So, I mean, how does this compare to the GoPro? All right, so this is 4K, 30 frames per second, using the front-facing camera. That way I can see myself, I can frame it, right? So I'm not going to be able to do that when I turn it around, but we're going to check the main camera because that's the best quality one, and we're going to compare the two. So, and you can't go more than 4K on the front-facing camera. You can go 8K on the rear-facing camera on the Ultra S24. So the pros of using the phone is that obviously you can see yourself in a bigger screen if you use the front-facing camera. Negative thing, it's not going to be as high quality. And the GoPro is going to look better than the front-facing camera, I think. I'm pretty sure. The front-facing camera is going to be less quality, so the GoPro is going to beat it out. But this way you can see yourself. But I'm going to switch this around, and we're going to go 8K on the Ultra S24 and look at what that one looks like, the quality of that compared to the front-facing camera compared to the GoPro. Let's check it out. All right, we are now on 8K on the Ultra S24 now. Now, it should be a little more clear, and is the main camera. This is not wide, so it's not on the wide. We're going to go to that. But again, the wide will not be as clear. 8K 30 frames per second, which I can do 8K 60 on this. It's pretty cool. But 8K 30 frames per second on the Ultra S24 on the rear camera. Now, this is the thing. I can't do wide angle. Whoops, sorry. Good times. So I can't do wide angle on 8K from the main camera. It won't do it. I can only do it on the normal view. So that's where that kind of falls short. But we can see what this looks like. See, now we can even check some dynamic range here. The 8K on the Ultra S24. But I can't go wide. So this is as wide as I can go using 8K. So I'd have to drop down, which I'm going to do now, to the 4K, and we'll see what that looks like on the normal and the wide. So again, this is the wide angle now, 4K, 30 frames per second. Now with this angle, it's wider, but of course it's not going to be as high quality because you're not using the main camera. But it should suffice, it should be better than the front-facing camera. Well, this is the ultra wide on the 4K, 30 frames per second setting. So I should have more in the frame now than I did before. I got my arm almost all the way stretched out. And we're going to check dynamic range. I guess we're not because the sun went out. But there it is. So this is 4K, 30 frames per second. So obviously the downside of this is I can't frame myself. I cannot see myself. That's the downside. So I mean, you can kind of, what lens to look into or whatever. But, there's just something about kind of checking it out, making sure it's right, making sure it's recording, just double checking everything. But anyway, And what if a phone call comes in and things like that? You know, you get disrupted, you have to turn your notifications, all that. I mean, so you got to take that chance with these. So that's where the downside comes. But of course, once this is done, you can share it instantly, you know, and it makes it a little easier to share it. You don't have to go through a computer and all that stuff. Let's check the 4K, 30 frames per second, main camera. It's going to be the best quality one. Now we're on 4K with the main camera, so the quality should be a little better now. Not going to be as wide, of course. It'll be like what the 8K was. So the quality will be the best that it can be. And we'll compare this with the GoPro. Video quality wise, I'm sure they're not too far off, you know, different colors and things like that. We'll kind of analyze that and post it. Let me know what you think on the screen. One more advantage to the S24 is that you have multiple lenses. You can go wide, you can go main, and you can go telescopic. So that's a benefit. I mean, you can zoom, digital zoom, you don't want to do that. You can do that in the GoPro 10, but then you just zip it in, quality is lost. So that's another benefit of having multiple lenses, and plus it's in your pocket. You don't have any extra cost. It is what it is. So there's some of the pros. But again, the downsides, we talked about some of those, right? It's your phone, you want to talk on it, people can call you, distractions, you might not have enough space on it, depending on how much you use it. You know, putting all that video on there takes a lot of space. So you gotta take those things into consideration, but it won't cost you anything more. But it's nice to have a secondary camera. Like if you want to get in cheap, you can get a GoPro, right? You want to move up, you can get a Pocket 3, something like that. But let's check out the GoPro again, and we'll go to that, and we'll give that a whirl. Okay, we are on the wide again here on the GoPro 10. I can go ultra wide, and that's one thing I can do with this is get a really wide angle. But usually the wide is sufficient. But the good things about the GoPro is they're not too expensive. You can buy a 10 or 11 or 12 used. I mean, they're around $200 or so, somewhere around there. $299 new now, right now. So, and the speakers aren't bad straight out of camera. I don't have any, mics or anything attached to this. And they're waterproof. Some phones are too, but not all of them. But it's waterproof. So, or if you drop it, at least you don't lose your phone, right? If I was holding my phone up and I dropped it, bumped into somebody, not paying attention, I could lose my phone. Whereas this, at least I only lose a couple $100 camera if it breaks, but it should be able to hold up to some damage. So they're more durable. But the quality, as far as using it for this purpose, is fine. Like, it really is, because most people are just gonna watch on social media anyway. So I don't want you to think you have to go out there and spend all the extra crazy money, because you don't. But when we get into the studio and we check it out versus, a real camera, like APS-C crop camera is fine. So if you got a 1.4 lens, you're good. You are good. If you want more than that, you can go full frame. But I do recommend at least a ZV-E10 for inside, just because that you do have the option of changing your lenses and things like that, and you can get those low aperture lenses. But how's this looking, right? So we're going to switch this out on the wide, just so you got to get an idea of how much wider it is compared to like the phone, and we can give that a judge. All right, let's check it out. All right, guys, this is super wide view, 4K, super wide view on the GoPro 10. So obviously you got more going on here if you want to. The quality is not going to be as good. I mean, just kind of cropping down here, but you can't really tell. It's a smaller sensor anyway. But how does this look, right? How does that look? GoPro 10. Like, this ain't even the newest one, guys. This is a couple years old already. And the 13s will probably be coming out this year. So what do you think? All right, so we compared the GoPro 10 and the S24, and I mean, you could get by with either one. If you got the little extra money, I think it's good to have. If you want to be mobile, then you can get, this is standard stabilization, by the way, on all these settings. It's going to be more stable than the phone. The GoPro 10, GoPro 11, 12, it's a cheap way to kind of be able to vlog and not have to carry around a lot of big equipment. And that's the last advantage I want to say. The GoPro 10, when you can swap the batteries, right? It's durable, right? And then you can take it with you wherever you go. You stick it in your pocket, nobody knows it's there. Nobody knows you have it with you. And you don't need a coat pocket. You know, like a APS-C camera, sometimes, you know, those won't even fit in your regular pockets, your pants pockets or whatever. You need like a coat jacket. This, you don't matter, you'll shorts. You'll be wearing shorts. That's what I have on today, and you can put in your shorts. So that's an advantage too. And the phone has that same advantage. But again, this gives you a separate unit, so you don't have to use your phone. So how are you gonna make a phone call, or, you know, a call and use your storage? So it just gives you extra options. So if you want to move up to the action, if you want to do vlogging type thing, GoPro's a good way to go, or any of those other action cameras. They're good now. This is the DJI. The 360s I'm not fond of. It's too much post work. I want to try to make it simple, straight out camera. I'm not going to grade these. I'm just pretty much putting them up the way they look. So, all right, let's go back to the studio and we'll wrap this thing up, guys. Last thing I wanted to say here, front-facing camera, by the way. Pictures, honestly, for me, for pictures, mostly all you need is a phone, in my opinion. For most anything you do, for me, even though I got cameras I can do amazing pictures on, it's just shoot with your phone. It makes it look good. It's the processing. Send it. Done. Boom, boom, boom. So pictures, hands down. I wouldn't, if I didn't use my cameras for video, you know, my full frame and my APS-C cameras for video, I wouldn't need them, right? Because I don't need them for pictures. There's just not a big enough difference. You can't tell. If you put them head to head, you can't tell nowadays. It's just, I mean, there's a slight difference. It's negligible. And most people don't care. You will, maybe, but that's it. Media, social media, it won't matter. They'll look the same, or look even better sometimes on the phone because it does the compiling in camera. I just wanted to say that I think the GoPro 10 for me does a better job than the phone for just straight out video. If you know you're going to do a vlogging thing or whatever, go for the GoPro 10 or 11, 12, whatever. Osmo 4, DJI Pocket 3, even if you want to go to the next level, better low light, mechanical gimbal. Those are your better options for just outdoor vlogging, in my opinion. Just easier. You put them in your pocket, very discreet. And I actually like the video quality a little bit better out of the GoPro, the action cameras, the newer ones, or the Pocket 3, more than the phones. Definitely the Pocket 3 more than the phones myself. But that's just my personal opinion, but it's so much easier and you can separate it from your phone. So your phone's only got so much storage and you don't want to use it all up for, you know, videos. You have to constantly move them and take it off and delete. So anyway, that's my personal opinion. But let's look at these head by head. Let's look at these head to head next to each other. And in studio, that's where the camera shines. That's where it is. Let's check it out. All right, guys, I just wanted to make a quick follow-up to show you in studio. This is the GoPro 10 right here. Also, we have the ZVE1 just to show you with a 35 millimeter on here to kind of get a little closer to where the GoPro is going to be, which is probably around 20 something. And also the Samsung Ultra S24, as you can see, the main camera there. So now these are head to head next to each other in the studio, and you can let me know what you think on YouTube what this looks like. But honestly, this is where a camera shines. If you're going to do in studio, in home work, that is where a 4K camera is great. Also have the S5 II, works wonderful either way, whatever. ZVE 10 was it's fine too. The ZVE 10 Mark II is coming out, so you might want to hold your hats for that one. But you just get a 1.4 lens on a APS-C camera, and you get, or 1.8 even, a decent 1.8 is the 35 millimeter Sony 1.8 on the a full frame Sony camera, doesn't matter which one. Any of them will produce decent results. And there you go. So this is what it looks like on the GoPro 10, right? This is what it looks like on the Ultra S24 phone. Apologize, it's not 100% centered right. I got them all kind of on top of each other here. And the ZVE1, there you go. There's the test. Now, you got to let me know. Obviously, it's going to look the best on the camera in studio. But outside, it's not such a big deal. But inside the lower light, if you're going to be in lower light, that's where you need the camera. If you're always in mostly good light when you do your vlogging and things like that, or you don't do a lot of in-studio stuff, action camera's fine. DJI Pocket 3, wonderful. That's probably your best bang for buck on that. But just wanted to show a comparison, not only for you, but for me. I like to continually test these things and see best bang for your buck, how that's going to work out. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Some people are okay using their camera for in the studio thing, or even the Pocket 3 for in studio, but not me. I don't like the look of it in studio as much. It takes a lot more work. Now, this is all the same amount of light, and how it appears, the max 400 ISO on the GoPro 10. Any more than that, the noise is crazy. And I'm letting the phone do its own thing. And I got ISO 100 on the camera. And the light, my GoDox light's it's not even 100%. So, all right, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. And have a great day.